The time is 9 o'clock, and you are listening to CHMA 106.9 FM.
And now it's time for your CHMA News. We're broadcasting from Sackville, New Brunswick, the heart of the Maritimes and the traditional and unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq people. Coming up in the next 15 minutes, we'll have your local news, Atlantic update, weather, sports update, and some community announcements.
Hey, what's up? You're listening to Witch Prophet on CHMA 106.9 FM, Sackville, New Brunswick.
And here is a couple of local briefs for you as compiled by our editor, Katie Tower, for us today. Clinton will be back tomorrow morning with a local story for you. Dorchester is getting set once again to kick off the new year in style, and everyone is invited to come out and join in on the fun. The Greater Dorchester Moving Forward Co-op will be hosting its 34th annual Polar Dip on January 1, jumping into 2026 with a splash. Hundreds have taken to the plunge into Palmer's Pond over the years to help ring in the new year, including local residents, Mount Allison students, people visiting during the holidays, and anyone wanting to find a unique way to celebrate the coming year. Over the years, the dip has attracted anywhere from only a handful of jumpers to a record-setting 85 last year, and some participants now even come dressed in costumes to add to the fun. Members of the Dorchester Fire and Rescue Team are always on hand to ensure safety, with firefighters pulling the jumpers out of the water after their dip. The event also serves as a fundraiser, with this year's funds going to the Dorchester Fire Department and Station 8. Organizers encourage all Tantramar residents to come out and watch the fun, even if not participating in the jump. There will be hot chocolate and a barbecue and best dressed costume contest. Participants are asked to get their pledge sheet early by emailing admin@station8nb.ca and are asked to collect a minimum of $25. Registration is at 12:30 p.m. on January the 1st, and the dip is at 1 p.m. And the municipality now has a plan in its hands to make the Tantramar Veterans Memorial Civic Center a much more efficient facility. Jamie Ferguson, manager of Active Living and Culture, told Tantramar Council at its November 24th meeting that a net zero plan for the Civic Center was recently completed by WSP, a global engineering firm. The plan, developed free of charge in partnership with the Canadian Urban Institute and Climate Change Advisory Committee, was a recommendation stemming from the Tantramar Climate Change Advisory Committee earlier this year. Ferguson said WSP used existing utility data, the previously completed energy audit report, and information about the condition of the building to complete their assessment and recommendations. He said two primary approaches have been identified to help the Civic Center reach a net zero goal by 2032. The first includes several building improvements to the existing infrastructure that would have been required over time anyway. Among them, improvements to the rooftop ventilation units and replacement of the existing refrigeration plant. The second approach is being called the decarb option, which has identified extra items that would improve the efficiency of the rink over and above business as usual, says Ferguson. These include a flood water deaerator and an ice rink automation system, heat pump rooftop units, and a lighting control upgrade. The upfront capital cost of the business as usual scenario is estimated at approximately $1.2 million, while the decarb option is at $1.94 million. Councillor Mike Tower says that the bonus with the second scenario is that it could hook into government grants that will reduce the cost for the municipality. Deputy Mayor Matt Estabrooks agreed, saying the decarb option for 2032 is something that he thinks we should take a look at as they head into next year's budget, and if there's a funding available, they can reach out for funding, and that is a good thing, says Deputy Mayor Matt Estabrooks. Ferguson noted that having WSP's net zero plan in hand, and the municipality now has a document it can use to approach these granting agencies for funding more energy efficient operations. We have a good grant-ready application to be able to pursue any of those upgrades if possible, he said. And also, Sackville's Fire and Rescue Department is seeing a record number of calls in 2025, a fact that drew some concerns from Tantramar Council recently. After hearing from Sackville Fire Chief Craig Bowser, who reported that his department responded to 20 calls for service in a one-month period in October, Councillor Alison Butcher questioned whether there is a need for more volunteer firefighters. With so many calls for service, this is something that we should be having on our radar moving forward. Are we starting to outgrow having a volunteer fire station, or do we need to enlarge how many fire members we have? Butcher asked. Chief Bowser responded by noting that the department, compared to last year's call volume, is already up to 78 calls for the same reporting period. Quote, last year was our biggest call volume at 223. I believe we're at 275 calls for the service right now, and they'll certainly surpass 300. So to answer your question, asked Bowser, our members are tiring, who pointed out that the volunteers not only responded to calls, but also train every Thursday night up to 3 hours. And while some of the calls result in nothing of significance, Bowser acknowledged that the volunteers do often have to leave their place of employment for up to an hour or more. Some employers are not allowing them to leave as freely as in the past, he said, many times waiting until a second alarm has been called. Deputy Mayor Estabrook says 20 calls in 31 days plus weekly training events is definitely a lot to ask of volunteers. So maybe it's time to look for something different, he said. For now, though, recognizing that calls are up and appreciating that the firefighters get to the scene every time is important. I think sometimes we simply forget to say thank you to those volunteers, and that's a lot, says Deputy Mayor Matt Estabrook. Sackville Fire and Rescue currently has 36 volunteer firefighters, 7 below the full complement of 43. And that's some local briefs for you. I will be right back with your Atlantic update.
Hey, this is Kevin Torrey from Sackville, and you're listening to CHMA.
And a city councillor in St. John, New Brunswick wants the province to introduce a tax on empty properties. Brett Harris runs a nonprofit called Vacant to Vibrant, which acquires empty properties and brings them back to life. He says new life is possible for the majority of the city's vacant buildings. The city of St. John told CBC News that it is monitoring 175 vacant buildings. Over 90% are residential properties. American Alcohol will be back on liquor store shelves in Prince Edward Island today as the province sells off its stockpile. The island's liquor Commission says they have 44,000 units of liquor available worth about $3.2 million. Finance Minister Jill Burridge says that should net the province about $600,000 in profits, which they plan to donate to island food banks beginning in January. PEI is the latest province to announce plans to sell off its American stockpile and donate the proceeds, following Manitoba, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland and Labrador. And Nova Scotia's largest electrical utility will hold a public meeting later today to answer ratepayers' questions about how the company has estimated power bills since a cybersecurity breach shut down automated meter readings in the spring. Nova Scotia Power has faced intense criticism from customers who say their estimate bills have been unfairly inflated. The privately owned utility says the first in a series of public sessions will be held this afternoon in Yarmouth at a fire hall on Pleasant Street. The company's director of care, Chris Lantege, is expected to speak to the media, before the session begins at 1:30 p.m. And police in Newfoundland and Labrador say 2 suspicious deaths in St. John's are being investigated as homicides. The Royal Newfoundland Constabulary say 2 men between aged 38 and 53 were found dead inside an Aldershot Street home on December 1st. No arrests have been made, though investigators say there is nothing suggesting the attacks were random. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner has not yet determined how they died. And the Nova Scotia NDP are calling on government to ramp up support to community groups that provide those in need with food. The party cited the recently released Canada's Food Price Report, which estimates a family of 4 will pay on average $1,000 more on groceries next year. NDP member Susan LeBlanc wrote to ministers calling on them to set up a plan for stable, predictable funding for community groups that are providing affordable food to Nova Scotians. And finally, Charlottetown won't be using police resources to take part in the federal government's assault-style firearm buyback program. City councillors voted 10-0 not to participate in the program during a regular meeting last night, contrary to the staff recommendations to do so. About 75 people showed up to speak out against the program and against any city participation in it. Cheers and clapping erupted at the council chamber and from an overflow room when the vote was taken. And that is your CHMA Atlantic update. I'm also going to jump right now into some weather for you for today. Let's see. It's currently observed as 5 degrees, and the walk-in, indeed, it is quite warm, and it is quite rainy out there. All that snow is going away. I'm a little on the fence about that. I quite kind of enjoyed the snow, but it's been wildly cold, down to minus 27 earlier this week. We don't see those temperatures coming up just yet, but here is your 7-day. We got rain ending this morning and then mainly cloudy, a 30% chance of flurries late this afternoon. Rainfall about 2 to 4 millimeters. Wind south 20 gusting to 40, becoming southwest 20 later this morning. Temperature falling to +1 by this afternoon. Tonight, partially cloudy with a 30% chance of flurries. Wind southwest 30 gusting to 50. Low of -10, wind chilled -20 overnight. For Friday, December the 12th, mainly cloudy with a 30% chance of flurries in the morning. Wind southwest 30 gusting to 50. Becoming west 30, gusting to 50 in the afternoon. High of -4. Wind chilled -19. Well, so I was wrong. It is going to get pretty cold. -19 tomorrow morning and -21 in the afternoon. And I think I missed that for tonight. The wind chill will drop down to -20 overnight. So that is that's a dangerous combination of all that rain mixed with a wind chill of -20. So please be careful if you're running around tonight, especially with the tick. You know, the high school basketball tournament that's happening if you're going up there. And there's going to be a lot of folks. So please be careful. Let's keep going with the weather. Clear on Friday night with a low of -8. Saturday, the 13th of December, sunny with a high of -2. Snow on Saturday night with a low of -6. That snow continues into Sunday, the 14th, with a high of -2. Periods of snow continuing Sunday night with a low of -8. That will also continue into Monday with a high of -5. Monday night, cloudy periods with a 30% chance of flurries, a low of -14. Mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday, high of -7. And cloudy periods with a low of -12 on Tuesday night. Mix of sun and cloud on Wednesday and a high of 1. And there's some weather for you. Got Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update coming up right about now.
It was a return to the NBA Cup last night, this time the Western Conference quarterfinals happening. We had the Oklahoma City Thunder defeating the Phoenix Suns by 49, 138-89 final, moving the Thunder to 24-1 on the season. And it was the San Antonio Spurs defeating the Los Angeles Lakers 132-119. San Antonio and Oklahoma City will face off in the Western final before the NBA Cup finishes out. Just 4 games in the NHL last night, starting with the original 6 battle between New York and Chicago. Chicago shuts out New York 3-0. Detroit Red Wings, their 4-3 victors in Calgary, Alberta. It was a 4-3 final as well in Utah, where the Panthers beat the Mammoth, and it took overtime for the Kraken at old Climate Pledge Arena to defeat the visiting Los Angeles Kings. Local sports action, the Tanchmar Regional High School girls basketball team, they defeat Salisbury last night, 51-43. And tonight is the beginning of the annual TICC basketball tournament at the old high school. 6 p.m. and 7:45 p.m. tip-offs for the respective squads from Tanchmar. And finally, Week 15 starts in the NFL this evening with the Atlanta Falcons visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And that was Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update. Tune in weekdays at 8:30 for the CHMA Sports Update. And Brian, of course, hosts the Monday show starting up at 7:30. Thank you very much, Brian. Let's get into some community updates, see what's happening around the marshes. There was a boil water advisory for Bickerton Avenue that has been lifted as of yesterday. And that was due to a water main break that was happening at Bickerton. And there was another one over at Star Avenue. So, yeah, they had a water boil on for a couple of days, and that has now passed. And, just a reminder that they're asking you to support the local civic center by Grab a Seat for Christmas promotion, where if you sponsor a spectator seat for the TVMCC before December 23rd, you can receive a 2025 donation receipt. And get more details about that at tantramar.nb.com. And yeah, let's roll over to the good old. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to do a quick little read. It is Thursday, and it is December the 11th. So the Stuff a Cruiser, the RCMP Stuff a Cruiser, is up today up at the Foodland. There was one last Friday during Moonlight Madness. Now there's one this Thursday at 4 p.m. from 4 to 7 p.m. and that's up at the Foodland, 11 Wright Street. So that is what they're doing. They're stuffing a police cruiser with non-perishable food items, gently used hats, gloves, and mittens, and also with cash donations. Deliver joy, make a difference. There you go. So get in on that. And let's also roll over to the CHMA FM Community Events calendar and see what else we have rolling down. We've got a Film Society tonight, as a reminder. DJ Ahmed. I had a great barrel of fun putting together a spot for this one. I'll put that one on just after. But just a reminder, free public skating has been on. It is on. One Christmas Carol. That's a great thing that's being put on by Festival by the Marsh, coming up Friday at 7:30. And let's take a quick look at that one. It's a Holiday Cheer Play Festival featuring One Christmas Carol by Douglas H. Baker and performed by Andy Medelson. Part of the Holiday Cheer Play Festival also features The Tinderbox by Eva Lucas. And it's a play for children. It's a stage reading also a stage reading of It's a Wonderful Life and Grandma's Christmas Movie Extravaganza Dinner Theater by Charlie Reindress. And that is, you can get more information about that at Festival by the Marsh. It's $10 for students, $15 for other folks. That's going to be Friday night and Saturday night, 7:30 over on 3 Fairfield Road. And Mike Trask and Tess Poirier are playing a show this weekend on Saturday, and that's presented by Glenn Must Be Nice Barrington, and that is $20 or $25 at the door. Pay what you can. It's an all-ages show. Starts at 7. Showtime is at 7:30 p.m. Make Something Sundays coming up at the Owens with the Glow Garland. That'll be that's 2 to 4, and that is for kids up to 12 years old and their parents. And they're invited you to come by the Owens to string together a dreamy garland of paper flags that will sparkle, shine, and glow through the short days of winter. So there you go. There's a couple of community things happening in and around the marshes these days. We got one more, and I'm going to play you that cute Film Society spot that I did. All right. There we go. Okay. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, folks. And that is your CHMA news.
Open Sky Co-op and EOS Eco Energy are teaming up for a Rain Barrel pre-sale fundraiser. For just $75, you can pre-order a high-quality recycled rain barrel to help conserve water, reduce your bills, and support a greener community. Pre-orders are open until December 31st, 2025. Barrels will be available for pickup at the Open Sky Retail Greenhouse in the spring. To reserve yours, email Open Sky or EOS Eco Energy or call 506-536-4565. Support your community and enjoy eco-friendly water collection at home.
Coming up this week at the Sackville Film Society is DJ Ahmed. It's about Ahmed, a 15-year-old boy from a remote Uruk village in North Macedonia who finds refuge in music while navigating his father's expectations, a conservative community, and his first experience with love. A girl already promised to love someone else. And that's coming up this Thursday, December 11th at the Amherst Movie Theater. Tickets can be bought at the door.
Hemen buraya gel.
And that was your CHMA news. Please visit www.chmafm.com for more news and to sign up for our email newsletter. Funding is provided by our monthly sustainers, the Community Radio Fund of Canada, and the Municipality of Tantramara's Community Development Grant. If you have a story idea or would like to include an announcement, please write us at news@chmafm.com. All right, well, let's get into some music. I don't think I have any more community announcements to make for you. Well, I don't know. There's so much going on these days. There's always more, you know? Yeah, what kind of music do I have coming up for you? I got some Uri with Charlotte Day Wilson. Just doing some housekeeping here, getting ourselves sorted. I also have some Kieran Campbell with Act Your Age and Louval with Lakeside here on the Voice of the Marshes. But before I did that, I just want to double check a thing because there was a thing that came in and I wanted to be sure that I got it out there. But I'm sticking around till 9:30. It's 9:20, so I'll take a few minutes and just do some more further deep dive in here. But getting you to that, I have Uri with one of my favorite Canadian artists, Charlotte Day Wilson. I had the pleasure, the luxury, the honor of being brought to Alanya Vanya at some point, maybe 7 years ago, could have even been 8 years ago, with Steve Haley. It's a music festival that happens in St. John's, Newfoundland, and it's a beautiful one put together by beautiful people. And Charlotte Day Wilson was presenting, doing a talk and also a performance, and it was absolutely incredible, just because of their age and their depth of knowledge and all that kind of stuff. And then I heard a track from Charlotte Day Wilson with a favorite artist of mine, Sid from Odd Future, and it was a mind blower. So since that time, I've been absolutely in love with the music of Charlotte Day Wilson. So this is a track that I'm happy to play with artist Uri, and some Kieran Campbell with Act Your Age here on the Voice of the Marshes.
Heavy with the memories I made under a different name, but there's nothing I would trade if we're blind for this time. Can you go away when I don't wanna play? If you turn around, then I should probably be okay by now. Used to pull up on a late night, seeing you full of grace. Pull me back, pull me back, pull me back. It's a bad habit, but a good time. Heavy with the time between what's said and what's left inside my head for the hours we suspend. Pull me back, pull me back, pull me back, pull me back. It's a bad habit, but a good time. I want to behave better than yesterday. No memories to play with, there's no one to be found. Negative space around me, though, just take that in. Just take it in. Baby, can we keep on? Pull me back. Gotta hear the silence. Pull me back. There's nothing I will trade, nothing I will trade if we're blind for this time.
Feeling so down, I got a stone in my shoe. Saying my prayers, but I don't know for who. Sometimes at night, when the chilly winds blow, I think of the time we got except for my drinking and your last name. And if I should see you one of these days, I hope you pretend that you don't know my face. I wish I was better on stage. I wish I could act your age, but I'm stuck on the drinking. Bottles my cage. I wish I could act your age. No, what a shame that it ain't like before. The heart on my sleeve just bleeds on the floor. Sometimes I miss you, but sometimes I don't. I know I could call you, but I know I won't. I wish I was better on stage. I wish I could act your age, but I'm stuck on the drinking. Bottles my cage. I wish I could act your age.
And that was Kieran Campbell, Act Your Age, coming out of just one sec, Tofino? Tofino, is that what I believe? Kieran Campbell is a singer-songwriter, originally from Victoria, BC. Now splits his time between Montreal and Tofino, BC. Tofino, that doesn't, yeah. There you go. His music is deeply rooted in alt folk, drawing inspiration from legendary songwriters such as Town Van Zandt, John Prine, and other folk traditions. Okay, and before that, you heard from Uri and Charlotte Day Wilson with Behave. Got Lou Val coming up next with the track Lakeside, and that is my morning here on the Voice of the Marshes. It is 9:27. I've been with you since about 10 to 8. It's exam time, you know, and we are a campus station, so a lot of our hosts are students, and it gets pretty intense. So the community members here like to fill in as much as we can to take the edge off when times get busy for the students. That's how we do it. So at the last minute, Kimmy wasn't able to come in, and so I jumped on the mic, and we're happy to do that because we're happy to have people like Kimmy involved and on the air. I'm trying to find a workflow that makes that exciting for everyone. And keeps the spirits up. The hosting, I hope you've been enjoying the hosting that's been on CHMA since, we've been doing for, I guess this style for about 4 years now with the interns. But this September was the first time that we intentionally did an outreach to hire people specifically as radio hosts that had specific time slots. And I quite enjoy it. Big thanks to Eric Gohill and Maya Noel and Kimmy, and of course Craig and Siley and Brian, who've all contributed to the daytime hosting here on the Voice of the Marshes. That's just, there's still other folks, but that's our hosting squad that are doing up to 5 to 10 hours of radio a week, if not more in some cases. But that is our dedication to you, dear listener, to try to make the best community radio that we possibly can. If you have any ideas, suggestions, comments, concerns, give us a shout. Station at chmafm.com. You can also just call 506-364-2221 is a good place to leave a message. That is not the on-air booth. That is the main studio out on the floor there. Because we can answer that one more casually than we do the on-air booth. And I just wanted to give a special note that the holiday seasons are coming up, and some of the student programmers are venturing back to their hometowns, and their homes and their families. And also some community members will be taking a bit of a break just to recuperate. And it's a slow time of year. It's a good time to, it's not necessarily a slow time of year. It can be quite busy. But it's a good time to slow down as well.